I'm going to be reading The Secret Language of Astrology, The Illustrated Keys to Unlocking the Secrets of the Stars by Roy Gillett. While we're listening to Mozart, classical music for brain power. Nothing could be more visible than the sun in the sky and on a clear night, the moon and the stars in the heavens in the days long before the electric light and television. The changing patterns of the night sky would have been a source of interest to our ancestors, inevitably as they reflected on recent events in their lives. They would have begun to notice connections to mark the seasons and the tides, and the best time to sow and harvest. Almanacs that combined astronomical and meteorological data with horoscopes were popular from medieval times and even today. Most people have at some time read their star sign prediction in a newspaper. What then can be secret about language of astrology? From the beginning, there has always been much more to astrology than the popular contemporary view. Thousands of years ago in Babylon and Egypt, the knowledge was kept secret because it was the power base of priests who ministered to the lives and deaths of their rulers. Even when astrology became better known as accepted in classical and medieval times, its deeper truths remained the province of experts. Church leaders resisted its use. A world in the sky. For as long as we have observed the stars, we have told ourselves stories about them. The dramatic images shown Orion's Horsehead Nebula, named for the shape its whirling streams of dust and gas assume when viewed by our earthly instruments, some 1,340 light years away. Claiming that by anticipating the movement of the heavens, humankind sought to replace God for the last 300 years, the proponents of reductionist science have dismissed astrology as out of date, unproven, and misleading. It is not taught in school or in most Western universities. The media is not usually interested in serious discussion about astrology, offering only star signs and platform to those making simplistic statements condemning popular astrology. So in the 21st century, they laughed. The language of astrology remains secret, rejected by both sides of the science versus religion divide. The first step in learning the language of astrology is to suspend disbelief and look beyond popular misconceptions to answer one recent criticism. Astrologers do know that the Earth orbits the Sun and that owning the Earth's tilt on its axis, the positions of the zodiac signs appear to be moving backward. In fact, it is the observer's view that changes, like looking from the spinning cup in a fairground cup and saucer ride. Astrologers study the cycles of the sky to orientate themselves to the experience of living on Earth. They then use the language developed by our forebears, who were much closer to the world's natural rhythms. This approach is not an alternative to the modern scientific view of reality. Astrology is entirely compatible with Darwinism, the Big Bang Theory, the dynamics of space travel, and everything that drives modern societies. Far from challenging other interpretations, astrology extends and gives them purpose. Better still, it offers an ancient language that can guide us to how and by whom the great modern discoveries should be used. Sorry for the barking. Maybe it is this potential consideration, presumptuous by some, that frightens some contemporary scientists and their supporters. How to use this book, as well as offering many opportunities and experienced astrologers to enrich their understanding. This book is structured to guide a beginner through the process of acquiring and knowledge and skills necessary to interpret a birth chart, which I'm excited to learn how to do mine. A chart that shows astrological positions of the skies at the time of an individual birth. An introduction to the history of astrology is followed by the elements of astrology, which looks in detail on the planets, tells the pages. These combine rather like the nouns, adjectives, verbs, adverbs of astrology. As with any other language, and understanding of astrology is built up from its grammar, much more than in other languages. However, in astrology, each word is rich in interdependent symbolism and association. At first sight, its abundance overwhelms, yet as with controversial language, as we begin to use it, we see that it works. The third part of the book, putting the pieces together, shows step by step how to combine the different elements in a full birth chart interpretation. Words of warning. Before you start to speak and use this language in your own life, bear in mind a few words of warning. Although you will observe many apparent connections between astral cycles, human character, and events, it has not been proven that the planets and signs directly cause anything to happen. They may be no more than reference points for a third factor yet to be discovered. Markers for the integrated effect of all the elements of the solar system, perhaps. Knowing this is the wise astrologer takes account of the current range of astro event variables, but always honors free will. Explore astrology, meaning to be better informed, but then making your own decisions. Do not allow the stars to dictate your life, and never use them to dictate the lives of others. And then it goes on to birth chart websites. It's www.secretlanguageofastrology.com. It's www.secretlanguageofastrology.com. is a website set up to accompany this book and give readers access to the ASTROLAB birth chart technology free of charge. All you have to do is create a profile birth chart. Is simply the subject's name, time, and date of birth, and the nearest large town and country or USA state of birth. The website accesses the planetary movement of Earth rotation algorithms and allows for latitude and longitude, time zone, and summertime changes all over the world. And I'm going to stop there for now, and I will continue to read more on the astrology from the earliest times, and I'll let you look at the pages. All right, thank you, and I will be back.